Hey everyone, it's Zeke, and in this video I'm going to go over the difference between ASIC mining and GPU mining. I made a video on this before and it did really well, so I decided to make another video on it. I'll be talking about what ASICs and GPUs are, and then I'll be comparing the two together to help you figure out which one is right for you and which one you should buy for mining. So let's get right into it. So I'm pretty sure most of you know what a GPU is. It's used for gaming PCs, workstations, and mining. Pretty versatile, and I'm sure most of us have used one before. However, ASICs are a bit different. The name ASIC stands for Application Specific Integrated Circuit. This is because the chips that are put into these machines are application specific, meaning that they're only built to do one thing, and this is mining. But they can't mine any coin you want. They can only mine the algorithms they are designed to mine. For example, there are Bitcoin miners, Ethereum miners, and a few others like Dogecoin. If you look on whattomine.com and head over to the miners tab, you can see that each type of miner can only run the one algorithm. And that is why they're called application-specific integrated circuits. Now, this is a good thing because it makes these miners really powerful and efficient because they were built to do one thing. But this can also be a bad thing because say you bought a bunch of Ethereum ASIC miners and then ETH 2.0 comes, all these ASICs are pretty much useless. Now that brings us on to GPUs. So GPUs are for computers, and because of this they can do many different things like run games, stream videos, but most importantly they can mine crypto. And they can mine any algorithm, so it doesn't matter what coin is most profitable to mine. GPUs can do anything. This is a big advantage of GPUs, however, since they are not built specifically for one algorithm or task, they aren't as efficient and powerful. But they're still really good for mining. If you look on whattomine.com, you can see that whatever GPU you select, they can all mine a bunch of different algorithms. But with ASICs, you can only mine one algorithm, which is the algorithm it is set up to mine. So now that you know a little bit about ASICs and GPUs, it's time to talk about which is the better option for mining. So like I said earlier, ASICs can only mine the one coin that they're set up to mine. So if you're buying an ASIC miner, you need to make sure that you're okay mining the coin that the ASIC is set up for. So if you buy like a Dogecoin miner, you have to believe in Dogecoin and know that you're going to be mining Dogecoin. You're gonna have to exchange the Dogecoin for Bitcoin, Ethereum, or cash, whatever you want to do with the crypto. Or if you're buying like an Ethereum ASIC miner, you have to watch out for Ethereum 2.0, because if you have an Ethereum ASIC miner and ETH 2.0 comes, what are you gonna do? Like, you can't just switch to whatever coin you want because one is more profitable. You're stuck with whatever the ASIC was built for. Now, GPUs don't have this problem because they can mine literally everything except Bitcoin and any algorithm that has a crazy high difficulty. Back when Bitcoin first came out, like, what was it, 2009 or something, 2010, you could mine like 10,000 Bitcoin easily with a normal gaming PC. However, you can't mine at all with the normal gaming PC. You have to have an ASIC miner that's really powerful for it. So yeah, I'm just gonna go over like the noise, the power, and cooling of GPUs and ASICs, just compare them two together, because the noise of the miner, the power consumes and setting up the power, like you have to have an electrician for some big mining farms, and then the cooling, because those are the three main things that kind of miners have. It's like how loud are they, how much power they consume, and then how to keep them cool. So starting off with noise, ASICs kind of run between 50 and 75 decibels, but sometimes they're even higher, like 80 decibels. So this is as loud as like a blender or like a loud vacuum cleaner. So if you're buying an ASIC, make sure you're not running it in your house, because these things are pretty loud, and I'm sure none of us would want to have like a vacuum cleaner or blender running the whole time in our house. Like, some people even have like noise complaint problems with ASIC miners. Like, I watched Red Panda mining and his was running at like 80 decibels, and even with soundproofing he was still hearing it through walls, and like his neighbors were complaining. So, and you can also like limit the fan, like how loud the ASIC miner is, by limiting the fan speed. However, the bad thing about this is that turning down the fans means you're worsening the performance of the ASIC miner. I mean, you'll be mining less crypto, and that can be bad because you're making less money. So if you want an ASIC miner to be running at full capacity or full performance, then it's going to be loud, and you're going to want to have like a special building for it. Like, some people just set up industrial buildings that have lots of soundproofing, and that's away from like anything else. GPUs on the other hand, they're pretty quiet. Now it depends. If you have a small rig, they're really quiet. They can sit in a room and you could sleep in that room. Like, I had 3 1660 Supers mining, and they were not loud at all. That's because they don't get that hot. I was running at like 60% fan speed and I could barely hear. Medium-sized GPUs, however, if there's like more GPUs in one space, then they're gonna have to run the fans at a higher temperature, and that's gonna be a bit louder. But if you have like large GPU rigs with a lot of them, then they're gonna be quite as loud, and even almost as loud as ASIC miners. So don't buy GPUs because they're quieter, because if you have a bunch of GPUs, then they're just as loud. Some server cases, like the Octo miners, they're pretty loud as well, just because they have like a bunch of fans running them, and these fans are like ASIC fans. They're running at really high RPMs and speed, so they are pretty loud. So it's not just ASICs that are really loud, it's also GPUs. So that's one thing to know. And last thing about noise is that the noise level depends on the power consumption of the GPUs. More power being consumed means that they're going to be hotter, and they're going to have more fans running and fans running at higher speeds. That affects the noise level, and it's the amount of fans running that increases the noise level as well. So power, fan speed, and amount of fans running are the main three. Now on to power and powering your mining rig. So if you have like one or more ASIC miner, you're gonna need like an electrician to set up a different circuit in your house, because most of the default circuits in houses can only do like 1800 watts in a single circuit. So you might have like 3 outlets that are connected to the same circuit. You can't just do 1800 watts each outlet. It's the whole circuit. So like say you had one outlet doing 1600 watts, that's it. You can't plug anything else into the other circuit. You'll flip a breaker. So that's why people get these like 240 volt outlets and 20 and 30 amp breakers to hold a lot more power in their house. Now, if you have enough power running on your GPUs, then you're going to have to do this as well. So powering your mining rig, it's also complicated with a lot of GPUs. However, if you have a small GPU mining rig, then it's a lot easier just to do it on a normal house. Like if you have like 1 or 2 small rigs running on your house, then you know it's easy to power. But typically you only have to do electrical work with an electrician if you have ASIC miners, because just one ASIC miner takes up a lot of power and too much power for a normal breaker to handle. However, with 1 or 2 mining rigs, these things won't take enough power to flip a breaker. And then on to cooling. So GPUs don't really create as much heat as ASIC miners, just because each GPU is its own chip and it has its own individual 2 fans or maybe 3 fans running, and it has like a little bit of space in between other GPUs. However, ASICs, they're just a bunch of GPUs and chips in a metal box with like a couple big fans, and the ASICs draw a lot more power for each unit. So they generate a lot more heat because power comes in and it's generated into heat energy. Just a little bit of physics for you guys. And yeah, big ASIC mining farms require like massive fans. I saw this one video, people had like a couple fans in a warehouse and each fan cost like $5,000. It was something crazy like that. So yeah, people take cooling very seriously, because the cooler your computers are, ASICs or GPUs, whatever you're doing, the cooler they are, the more efficiently they run and the more you can mine. So people invest a lot of money into cooling. If you have like a couple rigs, just normal like PC case fans are enough to keep it cool. But if you have like a big GPU mining farm, then you're probably going to need some like bigger cooling. Like some people do these like boxes that have like an intake and exhaust like HVAC system, just like different like creative ways to cool your mining rigs. But if you have like a couple small rigs, then it's really nothing to do with. But I know people have like basements of mining rigs and they have like a proper HVAC cooling system, which is pretty cool. And just in general, GPUs are easier to cool compared to ASICs. So now that that's all said, don't want to make this video too long. I'm just gonna wrap up a summary. So in my opinion, I'd rather use GPUs to mine just because I know more about them, and you can mine whatever coin is most profitable with them. You can switch whenever you want. You're not just stuck with whatever coin you're with an ASIC miner. But it would be more fun for me to start learning about ASICs because people make some good money out of them, and it would be nice to kind of learn more about them to see if I'd be interested in buying ASICs. But for now, I'm just interested in GPUs. So if you're a new miner, I recommend starting with GPUs because they can mine any coin, so you can experiment with different algorithms, see which one you like best, and you always have good resale value because GPUs will always be good for something even if mining goes away. Also, GPUs are easier to find and buy than ASICs, so it's a good option for beginners. ASICs are pretty overpriced, and if you don't know what you're doing, it'd be hard to make good money out of it. Just you don't want to be a brand new miner trying to find an ASIC because there's a lot of different brands and models, and it might be hard to figure out which one's best. From my experience, every ASIC I looked at had like a really long break-even point, much longer than GPUs, so you might just have better luck avoiding GPUs in general if you're a new miner. But yeah, that's just what I found. I'll be making a video about this in the future as I more learn about ASICs and GPUs and have a better comparison about them. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Remember to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one.